It's Tuesday night. It's time for CBS Live. On tonight's program, we're going to have the New York Comic Con update. What is going on with NFTs, a mystery box, and some other exciting news. And now, for your host with the mostest, we have Buddy Scalera.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Rob. This is the coolest show on comic books tonight at exactly this time. I have to tell you, I'm very excited. We're trying something new tonight. Usually, we will do this with an engineer, and tonight it is me and Rob working together. Rob is the super voice of Comic Book School, and yeah, we're going to be covering a couple of very interesting topics that I think are truly relevant to those of us in the craft and business of making comics. The first, of course, let me bring up my screen right now. I'm going to be sharing a little bit of information about, all right, this is, there you go. So the newsletter. All right, no. Nope. Already I messed up the show. All right, let me try this one more time, Rob. We're gonna share a Chrome tab, and we're going to be sharing the Comic Book School newsletter. Okay, for those of you who are planning on attending New York Comic Con, you're trying to figure out what days to go. I guess you've got to go to all of them. These are the approved panels for New York Comic Con 2021 for the Comic Book School. So we're doing 4 panels, and previous years they all used to be ganged up on one day, and now they're spread out over each day. So you'll see here on the Thursday, a little bit late in the day, building relationships with editors and publishers. Incidentally, I do have most of the confirmations. I'm just waiting on 1 or 2 additional confirmations. We'll probably announce that in the upcoming Comic Book School newsletter. This is actually an active screen from the Comic Book School newsletter. So if you don't get that, definitely subscribe to it. That's where I'll be making those announcements. So Thursday, building relationships with editors and publishers. Actually, this was suggested from our counsel, Rob, who is our announcer, suggested this. It's so important. You can get work one time, but to get work multiple times is truly what will make you a working pro. Social media optimization for comic book creators. Ari from, or I should say AA Rubin, also on the council, asked us to do this one again. He said that the last one, I think we did New York Comic Con 2019. He said that the social media optimization for comic creators was the best panel he'd ever had attended at any convention anywhere. So we're bringing that back. We're actually bringing back some of the people who joined us at that particular event. We'll be talking about what you can do as a creator and some of the things you shouldn't do to position your personal brand and promote your comics online. We'll be doing the world famous page 1 panel 1. That's the tutorial where we get 2 artists on opposite side of the stage rather, and we have them draw the same page from a comic book page. And we've got a great lineup there. Some familiar faces, some brand new faces. I think you'll like who we have. So if you like that panel, it is Saturday. And then Sunday, certainly last but not least, Comics in Hollywood, What Creators Need to Know Now. This one was actually born in part from my experiences as a comic book creator. My first book that I'd ever self-published, I had actually done it with Mike Martz, who became my Marvel editor and now is at Aftershock. We had self-published something. It came out, and immediately there was interest from Hollywood. And I'll put that in air quotes. Hollywood is a city. It's not actually, it's sort of, we use it as a state of mind. We were not prepared. We didn't have a lawyer set up. And let's face it, it didn't go nearly as well as it should have. So if you are interested in these, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, make a choice. Apparently, tickets were still on sale as late as last night, so hopefully they'll continue to extend those. Incidentally, if you are one of the people who are not subscribing to the Comic Book School newsletter, here is how you do that. you would go to the Comic Book School website, which you can see here, the wonderful ad. I probably earned a nickel on this and it ruined your surfing experience. But if you go to the website, comicbookschool.com, and you will see the newsletter, you would click over here. It's a free newsletter. It originally started as a weekly newsletter, but it was a little too much. There's just only so much really great quality information that I could share every week, but it comes out about once a month. It's totally free. It focuses on the craft and business of making comics. And of course, I do my best to find the jobs that are out there, interesting resources that will help you to be a more effective and consistent comic book creator. And of course, I will be announcing all of the New York Comic Con events in detail in the newsletter. Yes, you should follow on social media, most notably Twitter, but this is really a personal relationship that you and I'll have together. So definitely check that out at comicbookschool.com/newsletter. You can find it right there. And I hope you check it out. And I do hope as many of you can join the event live. I've been a little concerned, and Rob and I were talking just before the show, that potentially there are quite a few big publishers who may not be joining us. No confirmations there. That's just a rumor that we've heard, but certainly, people will be concerned about health issues, and they are having masking in effect. Those of us who are vaccinated, I am vaccinated, will also be wearing a mask, and not everybody wants to do that. But if you can join us, we look forward to seeing you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But if you can only go to one, pick your event. So New York Comic Con is coming up. Hope you have your tickets. We are talking in our message boards at the Comic Book School about meeting up live at the event. So even if you don't actually buy a ticket and come, some of us will be meeting live in the hall. Some of us will be meeting somewhere afterward, probably at a restaurant or a pub or something. We haven't locked that down either, but we should get together. I miss you. I really do miss you. And I managed to get together with some of you at the convention in Long Island, and I was surprised at how handsome and beautiful all of our members are. And I cannot wait to see just how handsome and beautiful all the rest of you are. So and some of you will be handsome and beautiful at the same time. I'm just excited to see you in person, and it'll be great. So anyway, hopefully we'll see you there at New York Comic Con. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of time together. And if you don't, we will try to get together outside the show. But that's it for New York Comic Con. Subscribe to the newsletter to keep up with the latest information. Get a little dust on my shirt. We're doing home improvements, and you'll see dust sometimes fall from my ceiling. It's very strange to be living and working in a house where there's no roof on the house right now. It's just a tarp. One of the things I wanted to talk with you about is a mystery box, which I have right here, slightly out of screen, but it's cool. You'll dig it. It's related to my days at Wizard magazine, so we'll chat about that. But first, I want to touch on some news because I think that this is relevant to the craft and business of making comics. We have talked in the past about NFTs. They're called non-fungible tokens. They sort of exploded in consciousness a few months ago when this creator sold essentially a JPEG for $69 million. That's right, a JPEG, a digital file, for $69 million. That also coincided with the explosion of Bitcoin. Some of us had heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum, but suddenly it just went through the roof, and it made a lot of people very, very rich. One of the platforms is called Ethereum, and it allows people to prove ownership of something. So that JPEG, while it could be shared online, there's only one official JPEG version, kind of our equivalent of comic book original art. So what I'm going to show you right now are a couple quick screens, and then we're going to just chat about this. The Marvel Comics team has started to put what they call NFTs. Once again, it is digital original art. That's all you have to know. Yes, you can make a copy of this JPEG that you see on the screen, but there is only officially one original art, something that we're familiar with in comic books, right? So Marvel has begun minting these original art NFTs, non-fungible tokens, a little bit of a weird concept. I totally get it. But you're going to be able to buy the one original art. What's interesting about this, though, as a comic book creator, early enterprising comic book creators started to mint their own, and Marvel and DC said, please stop. In fact, they didn't just say please stop, they just said stop. They're going to be creating opportunities. At least that's what Bloomberg reports. This article and others will be in our show notes. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll look in the notes below. This is going to be really important to us as comic book creators, especially as writers, as I'm a writer. I can create an NFT, some original art of my comic books. But prior to that, I couldn't do that. And now I can. But now, if it's something that I had done from my Marvel titles or something, I'm not very articulate right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. And Marvel would say, don't do it. So according to Marvel and DC, there will be opportunities. We don't know what those are, but if you recall, and your comic book historians will know this, not all comic book artists got their original art back, and that was deeply concerning for many artists who were leaving Marvel, and then it became a real issue with certain creators, most notably and legendarily Jack Kirby wanted his original art back, but it wasn't just him. Barry Windsor Smith and a lot of other creators who were making art wanted their art back, and why not? You know, they liked the work that they did, and then eventually they were able to sell it. Now NFTs, and this is where we're gonna go into the educational part of this, and what you could do about this and what you need to know. NFTs are, again, now what we said, it was a non-fungible token. I know it's a hard concept. Every time I think I've got it, I'm like, maybe I don't got it. So let me give you an example. So this is one of my books, okay? And I've tabbed it with Batman trading card from the original 1989 set. Somebody probably would love this, but that's not the point. So this particular page here, Radata Elias, she is wearing a shirt that she designed. And the name of the clothing line that she designed herself was Chiguna. And she and I worked together and said, well, what if we made her a character and we called her Chiguna Girl, and decided that we would do this as an NFT. See, I took all these photos. She and I had an arrangement worked out. So she made the design. I'll show this to you in a second. And we're making an NFT of art from the book. Okay, so you could buy the book. You can get the original JPEG, or you could download it from the disc that was inside the book, although this particular book didn't have a disc. The difference is we have made a non-fungible token selling the original art of that photo, and we're putting it up there to see a couple of things. How it's done. Let me just tell you, for full transparency, it's not that easy. In fact, it's very frustrating, but it is possible. It reminds me a little bit of the early days of developing a website. You really had to be not just creative, but you had to be somewhat technical in order to do this. So what I'm going to show you now is a little bit of behind the scenes on NFTs, and it's very important because this could be a very profitable stream for you, where you are actually learning how to take your creations and turning them into profit, and then people who are collectors will be able to purchase those from you and then be the owner. And then Ethereum, or part of the blockchain, is a proof, right? That's why one JPEG was worth $69 million, and there's others been sold for millions. It's a lot, but I think it's worth learning, and I think it's worth learning before it becomes something that's so mainstream that anybody can do it. So I certainly want you to know a little bit about it. But I will note, thank you to the audience. Vince in the audience says, what the heck is a fungible anyway? Fungible means it's exchangeable, swappable, and non-fungible means there's only one and that you can't change it. It's sort of the immutable truth. And my explanation, I'm sure, didn't make it any easier whatsoever to understand the concept. Just think of it as original art for JPEGs. That's it. And it's something that's growing. It's a new technology, not exactly new, but it's newish to the mainstream, and it is worth learning about. We'll get into it more in the future. I see A.A. Rubin on, I forgot, we will be having an announcement that includes A.A. Rubin in just a minute. And I also see Mariam. So thank you, all of you, for joining us. Oh, look at that. The Creator AfterCon Network is planning a creator connection at Twins. As we get closer to that date, be sure to check out the Comic Book School newsletter, and I'll include all the details there. And hopefully, for those of you who can join us, we will hopefully see you at Twins. Okay, so we have 3 more things to cover tonight, and I'm going to get through this really quickly so that we have time for additional questions if we need any. I'm going to share my screen one more time. This is a website, the most popular website. And interesting to note, this is not the website that Marvel or DC are using for their non-fungible tokens. Not exactly sure what that means, but I will provide a link to this. This is actually my page in OpenSea, and you can see that I have created a set of non-fungible tokens, essentially JPEGs, made from the images that are in my book. And this particular one is the first one that I've put up there. There's a minimum bid requirement of 1 ETH, telling you it's not an easy concept to get your hands around, but an ETH is a virtual coin. And the way it works is I make this image, it's created and validated, and for you to buy it, it's 1 coin. How much does 1 coin cost? It can cost around $3,000. That's right. If this JPEG sells, it's approximately $3,000. There's only one of one, and it comes out of my book. Actually, some of the photos appeared in the book. Some of the photos is the first time you've ever seen them, like this one, right? I made 12 images with the model who you see there. She's actually an artist. And with the OpenSea software, I was able to create an NFT. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I do not think it'll sell, but I'm going to keep it up there, and I'm going to keep learning. I've only got one of them live and active. It's like putting it on eBay. I will be learning with you. At some point, we will get an NFT expert on here so you can think about what the opportunity is for you with your characters and with your creations. And certainly, this is going to be something that a lot of people will be talking about in the near future. So if we can pull up the question that's here, Rob, from Vince. So if the original NFT is original yet digital, and copies are also digital, hard to see the difference. This is just me. Actually, Vince, it's not just you. It's actually everybody. We're all trying to figure out exactly how this works. But suffice to say, there is an image, a JPEG file, that'll get a serial number that gets locked into a public ledger, what they call a ledger. And it's basically a list online. And if your number comes up and you claim that I own that JPEG, then they check the ledger and they go, no, Vince owns that. If you want to buy it from Vince, you can, if Vince is willing to sell it. So that's the basic concept. It is like a serial number. And then that serial number is public, and it's really hard to get your hands around. And it's going to get easier, a little bit like websites. You can pull the question down. A little bit like websites where we have I don't know how to take that banner down. Oh, thank you, Rob. Early websites were really difficult to build, and then they came up with little website builders like Blogger, and there's Wix, and there's different WordPress where you can build websites. But in the early days, it was really tricky. And actually, prior to that, when I was building on Wizard, it was even harder because we were not actually using HTML. I still have dust on me from going in the attic to show you the box that I just pulled down. But real quick, in the early days, we were writing our site not on a website, but on America Online. Those of you who remember Wizard Online, keyword wizard, will remember that it was not a website. It was actually code, and we were writing in, I think, a compiler language called C++, which was custom to AOL, called Rainman Plus. A lot of words in there. Suffice to say, it wasn't easy to do, but websites have become easier. Broadcasts were easier. Creating a live broadcast was incredibly difficult. You had to have specialized hardware and pull that through. So anyway, NFTs will get easier. I'm not telling you that you should set this up. I'm not telling you should buy my NFT. I mean, if you want to buy my NFT, I would love it. Make some money, pay for comic book school. But really, what you want to do is really just understand the technology. So that's that. With that, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tease you right now. Don't lose that dial. This is actually the mystery box. It is indeed a dog food container, and you can see it's covered with dust from being in the attic. But before we do that, I'm going to call out a very special member of the comic book school community. Rob, let me see if I can do this myself. Let me just see if I can do this, and I can. Congratulations to our very own A. Rubin. I am told that he has won an award for his fiction writing. Let me pull this up exactly. It's a competition held each year from Writer's Digest magazine, which I actually read. It's held each year across 9 categories by the magazine, which is the largest and best known writing magazine, whose mission is to develop the craft and hone the business skills at every stage of their career. Sounds a lot like comic book school. But anyway, our editor, A. Rubin, was recently named a Writer's Digest award-winning in the genre fiction category of their 90th annual writing competition. I think this is awesome because they finally, after all these years, have given away an award. They waited 90 years to give it to Ari, and congratulations to we call him Ari. His writing name is A. Rubin. Congratulations to A. Rubin. You can find him on the Surreal Ari on Twitter. He's actually very entertaining and fun and a personal friend. So congratulations to A. Rubin. Now, the mystery box. Had I had time, I would have created a graphic. But I'm going to give you a little bit of history. So I worked at Wizard in the 90s and into the 2000s, and I am known as something of a pack rat. I know, big surprise looking at my office behind me. But I just told you my house is under construction. So I was supposed to clear out my attic, and I found a series of these boxes. They're quite large and quite heavy, and they're ProPlan. But what happened was my wife said, you have to get rid of everything in the attic because they're taking the roof off. And I didn't remember that I had these. So what I am going to do in the next 4 minutes is I am going to unpack this. I only opened it up enough to know that I had stuff in it. So why is it like Wizard? So I am a pack rat, and I was collecting these. We would get these from our sister publication, Toy Fair. You can see right there, Wizard. And we would get these exclusives, and we get them in our mailbox. And some people would keep them, but we had in the back of the warehouse, there was a section where you could get free stuff. Look at this. All the packaging was not created equal. Majority of them came like this. So I am literally unpacking these live with you. I don't know what any of them are. I totally forget what this character is. Vindicator, I think. Vindicator. So that was in there. Now, one of the reasons I'm showing this is going to be something special for you guys. There's something in it for you. Oh, look at this. I swear to you, I'm actually opening this in real time with you. None of this is planned. I decided that it would be fun to show you what I pack ratted away. Oh, it's another Vindicator, clearly marked with a V. Let's see. We've got, oh, okay. I'm going to unpack this with you. This is the ultimate in unboxing. So this is some version of Superman. Obviously, these were exclusive to Toy Fair. And as Wizard editors, I was a Wizard editor. I was actually getting these for free at the time. And a lot of us were. And actually, this is not, it is the White Guardian Vindicator. Looks like more of the same. More of the same. Let's see if we got something different here. Another Superman. This is kind of cool. This is, I'll see if there's an open one. This is not a good one. on my shelf, you'll see there were laser statues. These were laser statues, laser cut statues. I'm going to open this one so you can kind of look at it. And essentially, I've kept this for all these years, and I'm opening the
Don't
box.
open it, buddy. It's a collectible. Don't do it. Don't do it, buddy.
I am literally opening it despite Rob's protestations. It's packed in packing peanuts. You can see here, it is metal. It's metal, quite heavy, and it's a Wolverine, and it's numbered and all that other stuff. Worth noting. I don't know how I came upon this. This one I will not open. This is a Cerebus laser sculpture. I don't know how many of these made. I believe these might have just been sent to the offices. Kind of cool, and it's going to get to you because you're going to be able to get your hands on these. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Oh, saved these. These were when they made Mego-like figures of Marvel characters. Rob, are people enjoying this, or have they completely tuned out?
I think everyone's in awe of the stuff that you just randomly have in your attic.
Randomly, people tell me super awesome box. I agree. This is from Astro City. Thank you, people, for commenting. So I know that you're still there with me. Ah, look at this. This is when we gave kids real metal guns and literally didn't cover up the hole. Rob, do you remember having guns like this when you were a kid? This is a cap gun. You put caps
still
in
have
it.
them. Like I have a little 6-shooter with the caps. Remember the cap? You'd put the red things in it, and it sounded like a gun. I still have one of those.
This is how real the guns were for kids when I was a kid and you were a kid. Like they were metal. I love these. I think I've cornered the market and have the world's best collection of these little handheld games before there was proper games. There's more in here. I'm gonna keep going. Just a couple more, but another one. Oh, look at this one. This is a big one. What do you guys think this one is going to be? Anybody? A super awesome box. I know, right? Ah, this is one of my favorites. This is Madman. It says Madman. It's quite a bit larger than the other figures that I've been taking out. So there was a Madman in there. And put this over here. I'm literally running out of space. These are, I don't even know what's in here. Oh, another Vindicator. Apparently, there was a lot of those the day that I took them. Okay, this is a shiny box. I don't think we've seen a shiny box yet, so we don't know what's in here. This is literally, I don't know what's going to... Oh, look at that, a bullseye! One of my favorite characters. These were exclusive. You had to mail away. For those of you who collected toys, you had to mail away, and it came to you in some number of weeks. Ah, another laser statue. This one, X-Men, you can see right here, it's a pen holder. And you can hold your pen. It's very heavy, so it's also a good paperweight. Holy cow, do I have a lot of these games. I think I'm going to have to put them on display. I didn't know what was in this box. Some of it was Wizard stuff, but it was awfully heavy. I don't know if you guys are into these kinds of games. But this is I love these. So apparently I must have bought a lot of these at garage sales or something. Holy cow, they just keep on going. These are the kinds of things that I stored in my attic. And I'm going to tell you what we're doing with what I stored in the attic. Head-to-head, if you remember. Rob, you remember head-to-head football?
I actually had one of those. Like I'm seeing things that are from my childhood that I was too hyper for them to have survived.
This is the first version of the movie Fast and the Furious. That was Vin Diesel's Charger right there. It's awesome. It feels almost exactly like driving, Rob. And you can hear that I'm taking such good care of them. We're almost out of time.
That Galaxy thing. I never got it, but I remember it. Vince, by the way, says he's in YouTube.
Is he? Thanks, Vince. Vince, I'm going to show you how to be part of the fun in just a minute. Okay, this is a rather large one. This is, you could play a baseball offense and defense on this, so somebody could hit the ball to you. Almost done. Oh, couple more of these. This was, ooh. Where are my Spider-Man fans? This is a laser cut. Again, you can see these are substantially large. They're heavy. They're multicolor. They're covered in this amazing enamel. I have a couple of them on my shelf. If I could get up, I would get up and let you look at them. And of course, you can see these are it's so carefully labeled Wiz. This is another Madman. And then last but not least, does anybody want to know why I'm showing you this right now? Oh, this is cool. This is Kitty Pryde. Or I think, was she Kitty Pryde at that point or Shadow Cat? I can't remember.
I think that's Shadow Cat, like when she first became Shadow Cat, right?
Yes, and here's the kind of cool thing. It is all plastic, but underneath you can see she's actually wearing a fabric jacket, which kind of a nice mixed medium there. Okay, real quick, we're almost out of time. So Rob, who's on with me right now in my head and in yours, has been encouraging me to think about what I could give away. That's the end of the box. What I could give away as part of the levels for my upcoming Kickstarter. Well, friends, you are looking at some of these items right now, directly from my collection, made somewhere in the 90s and the earliest 2000s, and a few items, even from the 1980s, will be part of the prizes and levels for my upcoming Kickstarter. I did a Kickstarter once, like, I don't know, 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and it went great. But I have totally lost touch with how to make Kickstarters. But I do watch Backer Pause, where Rob, the voice of Rob, actually talks about what's going on with independent creators and Kickstarter. So I'm trying to learn, and I would like to be able to run my own Kickstarter. Thank you for the thumbs up on all of that. I do appreciate it. And we will certainly be announcing when those come out. I am a comic book creator. Shadowcat is cool, Ari, and all you're going to have to do is be at one of the levels to get the Shadowcat. This is mine. This is all my stuff. So I am giving away my stuff to support my comics, and hopefully we'll be able to fund a successful Kickstarter. Rob, any thoughts on Kickstarter, and what do those people in our listenership need to know?
Kickstarter is definitely about reaching a new audience, and people don't realize that. And I've told you this. You know, there's 3 different ways to use Kickstarter. There's the way to get your books printed. There's the way to get your books to a bigger market. And there's a way to make even money off of Kickstarter. And you've got to go into it knowing what you want to accomplish with it. Like you said, this is a great way to connect with people, and you're doing something interesting that I've never seen before. You're actually going into your vault. I would call it even the Buddy Vault rewards, where you give away certain things. With you get a copy of my book and this, and they're going to be very limited. And you get a signed copy of Buddy's books, and I would definitely do it for the books, all the books you have already done, because some of those things are. I mean, you opening that was like the collectability just went down 50%. And it's funny because we're such a collectible society that we could have bricks in the boxes and we wouldn't know it till we're far dead because we've passed it on for generations.
Now, I agree with you. The collectability did go down, but they do say when something is published or seen somewhere in public, there's an exception to that rule, I think. Whereas it's been seen, this is the actual item that people will be able to bid on. So while it is out of the package, it is still mint. It comes with the package, and of course, you saw it here on our show.
And it's numbered. It actually has a number to it. My goodness.
And even the Cerebus one, man, this is, the Spider-Man. It's crazy. Like, I don't even think that Cerebus one ever really made it to the marketplace. I don't even know. Anyway, guys, this is the 30-minute. We're 6 minutes over. My apologies. We're supposed to keep this to 30 minutes. Thank you for joining me and Rob on Comic Book School Live on Tuesdays. We try to come to you with the best education and information about the craft and business of making comics. We've had a barrage of amazing guests, so please like below, subscribe over here, or maybe it's over here. I'm not 100% sure. And also hit the little alert button. You can also subscribe on Facebook as well. But please continue to let me know what you'd like to see on the show, what kind of guests you'd like to see, and certainly, hopefully, I will meet some of you in person at New York Comic Con. So for Comic Book School and the craft and business of making comics, I hope this is a fun way to spend 30 minutes on your Tuesday. Thank you to my engineer, Rob, and thank you for joining us tonight on Comic Book School Live. We'll see you next Tuesday. And we're out, Rob. I think we can go off live. Woo. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody, and make sure to download that copy and join us back here, same buddy time, same buddy channel next week. We'll see you there.